Right now, what most Americans consider a traditional burial takes a big toll on the environment. For one, about 4.3 million gallons of embalming fluid are used in U.S. burials each year. Some of the harsh chemicals used, like formaldehyde, evaporate before burial. But some of the harsh chemicals go into the ground, potentially putting drinking water at risk, especially in the first year after burial. Also, workers exposed to formaldehyde have higher rates of rare cancers compared to the general population. And if that's got you considering cremation, think again. The 1.4 million cremations recorded in the US in 2017 emitted the same amount of CO2 as 52,000 cars emit in a year. So on this week's episode, we're exploring a topic that not many of us like to think about. What should we do with our bodies when we die? To find out, I connect with the owner of a green cemetery. And later, I sit down with Dr. Jackie Wilson to discuss why she's choosing green burial. I'm Lucy Biggers, and this is One Small Step. In the U.S., a traditional burial consists of embalming for the deceased, a steel or wood coffin, and a large cement or stone marker for the gravesite. In recent history, this kind of burial is uniquely American. Embalming was used during the Civil War, but really took off after the funeral procession for President Abraham Lincoln. His embalmed body boarded a train and traveled from Washington, D.C. to his final resting place in Illinois, where mourners could pay their respects. This was the first time many Americans saw an embalmed corpse. Soon after, the practice became widespread. But embalming is not the only option. Green burial is a way of caring for the deceased that is as natural and has as little environmental impact as possible. This means a lower carbon footprint and no chemicals or toxic substances buried in the earth. Today, there are 93 registered green burial sites in the U.S. Many of them are natural conservation sites or wooded areas. But it's possible to have a green burial at a traditional cemetery as well. And interest in it is growing. According to a 2018 study, nearly 54% of Americans are considering a green burial over a traditional burial or cremation. To learn more, I reached out to Ed Bigsby, who owns and operates a green cemetery. So what is a green burial?
Well, green burial is essentially no embalming fluids, no concrete vaults, only biodegradable burial containers, hand-dug graves, no polished monuments set in concrete. Pretty much more of a sustainable burial, but also something very different in the sense that it's very hands-on. It allows the family to participate in the actual ceremony itself.
What are the laws that you needed to follow to be able to turn this place into a green burial site?
Well, ironically, people would believe that this would be something that you might have to follow certain laws to do it. Every cemetery in the entire country, all 50 states, can allow natural burial.
And what's the science of what happens to the body once it's put into the ground during a natural green burial?
Typically, a body will degrade, rapidly
Right.
when it's exposed to groundwater and to all the natural elements. It's no different than a deer that lives in the woods. What happens to all the animals that live in the forest? They just go back to the earth, dust to dust. The land repairs itself. All the plant life we remove, we replace back on exactly the way it was removed. Within 6 months to a year, there's no evidence of a burial itself at all.
Today, I'm at the home of Dr. Jackie Wilson, who's chosen a green burial for her funeral. Dr. Jackie spent her career in San Diego, where she had a family practice for many years, focused on homeopathy and natural care. After being diagnosed with cancer, she moved to New Jersey in order to be closer to a green burial site. Dr. Jackie, thank you so much for having us in your home today.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm so curious to know, when you were diagnosed with cancer, did you know right away that it was green burials was something you wanted to do?
Since I'm more into natural ways, I don't want to put formaldehyde in the ground. So you have to have a green cemetery.
And you've had a long career in medicine. I think you were a trailblazer.
Yeah. I was family practice before family practice was invented. And I worked my way through school. I worked in research between my graduation at University of Pennsylvania and starting medical school. And I trained nurse practitioners, which was a new program in the United States.
Do you think other people should choose a green burial?
Yeah, I think they should. Why put formaldehyde in the ground? Why put a toxic chemical in the ground? You don't have to hurt the earth, so you have to step up and find a green cemetery.
So we're gonna head on our eco trail. That's where we allow woodland burial. We have 3 miles of trail system, and we allow burial in 5-foot increments all along the trail. And this is where you would find, the community using the property recreationally. And you would also find family members, come out to visit their grave sites. But the beauty of that is I never find them grieving at the gravesite. I always find them walking the trail and like, hey, how's it going, Ed? You know what I mean? What I love about this place is it gives them a reason to come back. And not to say that there's just not a reason to come back to a traditional cemetery setting, but people associate so much grief with that.
Right.
Here, there's so much life. They feel so good about it. You'll see them here all the time. And that's what I love. That's really important. We have to be more connected with the earth itself. I mean, that's what we come from. Let's face it, when a loved one passes away, you're gonna be grief-stricken. You're gonna be full of pain. This process, being hands-on, being able to carry your loved one to the gravesite, place them on it, lower them down, backfill the grave, it's very cathartic. It allows the family to find a greater sense of peace and acceptance, and at the same time celebrate that person's life, because as they're performing all these tasks, they'll be talking, they'll be laughing, they'll be sad, they'll be angry, and when they're done, they'll turn to me and they'll have a genuine smile and tell me thank you. And you've changed them forever. One small step that everyone should do is be sure that your loved ones know exactly what you want. That's very, very important. Don't be afraid to talk about it, because unfortunately, we can't live forever. It's part of life.
This is the thing that I felt when I was walking through the green burial sites today, is that this makes sense on so many levels. If you're an environmentalist, it makes sense because you're not hurting the earth. And if you want your family members to be more involved in your burial and lay you to rest, this makes sense too. I really think the green burial is such a great option for people, so I'm so happy we're able to get the word out. That's all for this week's episode of One Small Step. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please share it, and we'll see you next time.